But word has spread and the Highlanders are coming down on their own, in droves of hundreds and thousands. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. We're going to talk about 5v5 teams today, folks. The ones on offense in particular. It's a really big mess, actually. People have wanted me to make a video on these, including Galactic Legends, and I've always hesitated to do that for my main 5v5 core videos because not everyone has all 6. Well, now there's 7. I don't have Jabba yet. And so I'm going to make it with all 6 GLs, and we're going to wade into that morass. More and more ass. And what's going to happen, though, folks, I'm going to make one for my alternate account, which is more grounded at 7.5, so stay tuned for that. It'll probably come out tomorrow. Also, stay tuned, and in fact, it's probably available now. I'm going to be releasing my offense video alongside my defense team's video, and they'll be linking each other. You'll see in the video description and at the end of each video. We're going to try to keep these each to 20 minutes or so. Who knows if that's going to work, though. There's a lot to be said, and I don't want to omit too much. Let's get to the game, though. Let's start talking about it. Whoa! Where's the transition, man? What madness. We're in the game? Oh. Alright, guys. So here's the thing. If you're going to have a successful 5v5 season, at least in the Kybers, Kyber 1 and Kyber 2 especially, you're going to need to have a good team to take out Lord Vader. And so we have the Lord Vader Killers here. There's 2 variants of Supreme Leader Kylo. So Kylo with Daka and Zombie. This is kind of the more standard version. I think you do better, actually. I put Stormtrooper here. You probably do a little bit better than with crew instead of Stormtrooper, but a lot of times what you're going to end up wanting to do, if you do end up with using the Stormtrooper version, then you can a little bit later use a like Hux team or a crew team with Hux and First Order TIE Pilot with the Omicron to be able to take things out. And so Stormtrooper, less awesome, but you can still kind of do some work. I don't know. I think crew is better, especially if you have high relic crew. But this team will take out Lord Vader. One thing I will point out, folks, we're going to see a lot of, at least I'm in the top 50, and so I'm showing you guys my prep for the top 50 stuff. I've actually ended up, I've been telling people to work on their accuracy crons for a while now, or accuracy mods, just a little bit at least. And so I have this cool accuracy arrow. I don't know how cool it is. It does have a pretty high health percentage. So he's dropping some offense, unfortunately, about 1,000 offense, but I'm gonna be seeing a lot of dodge on the Lord Vaders that I face, and that's going to go a long ways toward it. And I'm going to try not to talk too much about Datacrons here, but Datacrons are, set for, it's going to be an essential aspect to this current season, and I want you guys to be prepared for that aspect. Like, we got to talk about it a little bit, right? So that'll take out Lord Vader. Otherwise, a lot of times, Supreme Leader Kylo, you can use him undersized, but if you don't have a Hux team or if you don't have First Order TIE Pilot team, I should say, to go with the rest of your First Order team, like, this works pretty nicely to be able to block turn meter gain on other teams. Hux, you have to keep it full First Order and everything, and I mean, who even knows what this kills? I mean, all kinds of things for now. We're also going to see Ben solo this season quite a bit, at least where I'm at, and I don't know. I don't know if this team is actually going to be able to handle that, but that's going to be an aspect as well. Overall, I mean, will you ever really need this full 5-man team? I'm not sure. I might use it against something like, I don't know, like a full Sith Eternal squad that's on defense, just so I can be sure to punch through in time. Though you run the risk of losing a couple of your characters at that point. So I like to put Sith Eternal on offense, keep him on offense if I can. Sometimes on defense is good. So here's one of the things, guys. Most of the teams aren't going to have much overlap. I've tried really hard not to have like multiple use on characters, but there are going to be a couple of those here and there. You can see the little exclamation mark diamonds there on the characters that do have overlap. So I do want to make sure that we're not double dipping much, though, so you guys can have good consistent teams. And here's the thing, guys. So every Lord Vader on defense is going to be better with Grand Admiral Thrawn on it. That's just the truth. However, if you want to take out teams like Jedi Master Kenobi, which is still a really strong team, and if you want to use Sith Eternal to do it, you probably want to use Grand Admiral Thrawn with Armorer, and then a couple tanks. I like the Geobrute Alpha and Sunfac here the best for that combo. And then all you have to do really is, as long as your Thrawn is 21 speed slower than Armorer, then Armorer should be able to get her big hit in, get her third stack, hand it to Sith Eternal, who will then proceed to lose his entire team, but kill the Jedi Master Kenobi team in return. Now, these are the teams, the way I like to split these teams, folks, for the Jedi. I like Jedi Master Luke with Grandmaster Yoda, Shock, T. Barris, and Jolee. This will take out, right now, we don't know what's going to take out Rey once we have Ben Solo. However, this is what kills Rey pretty easily, and it'll take out a lot of other teams as well. Just keep in mind you get a bunch of turn meter gain from Grandmaster Yoda, so you got to tone that down a little bit when you're facing Rey, if you can. But, you know, you get the Dispel on basic with Shock T. Jolee is going to help you revive from her ultimates, which don't deny revives, unlike her AoE whirlwind thing. And then you have this Jedi Knight Revan comp that's going to help you be able to take other teams out. I mean, this will take out the majority of teams, and it'll take out, at the very minimum, it'll take out Supreme Leader Kylo, if you let it. Old Ben, I know, is the one that we've traditionally used to face down Supreme Leader Kylo, but Mace actually works decently well here as well. You know, he's got the ability block on basic. He has the ability to attack characters outside of taunt. He can stun. He can do all sorts of really cool stuff. Old Ben is nice here, but you'll see when we go on defense what I'm using Old Ben for. Now, Night Sisters are actually, here's the puzzle aspect of GAC, folks, is, alright, I would like to use my Night Sisters team a lot. However, I would also like to be able to take out Supreme Leader Kylo, or sorry, Lord Vader with Supreme Leader Kylo, which requires all Daka and Zombie. If we do that, then we probably can't use Night Sisters, but if we somehow are able to find a different way to take out Lord Vader that isn't so banner expensive, then we can also we can use all Daka Zombie together. They can you know, go with this team. And I do have the Datacron for Talzin, which is nice. The Omicron on Asajj, like, this team will actually take down a lot of pretty mid-range good teams on defense, such as like CLS. They'll take out any teams that don't just have pervasive days or like a ton of stun or something, because there's no debuff removal on this team. Now, if you were fancy and wanted to work on Talia, that would actually probably work pretty well there, in fact. So I don't know, this team I'm excited to use this season, and we'll have to stop using it quite as much on quite as crazy things once the Datacron for Talzin goes away. But this is a pretty decent team, you know, take it down a lot of Grievous squads as well. Looking forward to using it. Now, you guys will see my Star Killer comp, and I will just say that if you want to use, if you don't have the eccentric weird version of Star Killer comp, which is on defense, it's on the defense video, but if you don't want to do that, then EP Mara is going to be very good, very, very strong on the Starkiller team, as usual. That's probably the optimized build. However, with the current datacrons that are going on right now, that have the cooldown reduction for Empire, then this team is going to be able to take out a lot of Galactic Legends. Even, I mean, you could even throw in Tarkin here so that he can do his big AoE and be able to take people out, because you can just like loop with Tarkin, and you can put Piet on the team. Like, you can make this team ridiculously expensive if you wanted to. One thing I would advise, though, keep in mind, keep watching your relic levels. For instance, if I was planning on using IPD, which I like IPD here in some ways, but he needs to be Relic 5 if I want to use him on this team, because it's a level 6 Datacron requiring level 5s uniformly across the board. So, get the pre-taunt with Shore Trooper. This team is going to be able to take out a lot of things just because of the looping, merciless massacre that Darth Vader has available. It's going to be a whole mess, folks. I'm very interested to see just what kind of teams are developed in order to just kind of evade the use of this Darth Vader nonsense. It's going to be quite interesting. In fact, Wampa on offense, I mean, it's like shelves in a closet. It's a happy thought, folks. Really good stuff. Love Wampa. You guys know what he does. He wumps things. He wumps for nothing. All right, we've got this Grievous squad here. Now, this is another juggling aspect, folks. So I have Sortie on the defensive end, and I know that Sortie might be kind of going out of style on defense. He still got me a few holds last season, and we'll talk about more about how to split that Sortie team in a little bit in that other video. However, one of the aspects is BB-8 is on that Sortie team, which means that this General Grievous team is significantly worse when trying to counter teams like Starkiller or something like that. And Newt does okay there, and in certain circumstances he's actually better than BB-8. You just have to realize which teams do what better with whom. That's pretty, I don't know. that's like, you just have to be good, guys. Just, you know what you have to do to succeed in GAC? Just be good. Easy enough, right? Just go forth and be skilled. Go. So the thing is, Newt works really well against CLS. That's the truth. Like, BB-8 on the team works significantly less than Newt. Newt does amazing against CLS. Newt does okay against some Starkiller builds, but if you don't get the turn meter proc on B2 in between Mara Jade's first AoE and her second AoE, then you're gonna get shocked and you're gonna get blown out of the water. So just things to keep in mind, folks. Not to be gloomy, but that's just telling it like it is, folks. You know how I hate that phrase, but that is how it is. All right, guys. On offense as well, Trey. I don't know, this team can also be used on defense sometimes in certain circumstances, just because if people can't move through your high relics fast enough, and especially with the current Datacron set 3, if you put enough armor on this team, it's going to be really challenging for a lot of teams to be able to take it out. And even if they do take it out with relative ease, a lot of times it's going to require a lot of assists, and the assist calling is going to destroy their banners. So let's work on defense. On offense, though, I mean, this is such a nice team, especially, I mean, it was really nice during that whole turn meter 25% turn meter Datacron fiasco. We don't have to worry about that anymore, but this team doesn't care about being fast. It cares about getting its foot in the door, and once it does, then people are like, oh, I don't like your foot in this door. This is miserable. And Treya's like, yep, you're dead now. You can have 4 to 5 of my banners, but in exchange, I require your life. And they're like, very well, we accept. This team, I find myself not using it as much in 5v5 because of how many banners you have to spend. However, if you can find a circumstance where you can only use the 3-man triumvirate, this team works much better in terms of banners. You're just obviously less secure in your situation with these other, without the other helpers. Now we've got Mon Mothma, and she is significantly worse now that she doesn't have a Datacron. And you can see Cara Dune is being used elsewhere as well. I'll show you guys where that is, but one Mothma and this team. If you don't want to use Cara Dune, or if you have Cara Dune in use elsewhere, you can fill in with Biston pretty nicely, actually. I mean, not as good as Cara Dune quite, but having a tank, having a pretty thick tank at that is a pretty nice addition to the team. But get your Kyle Katarn as much potency and offense as you can, folks, and get him as many relics. Man, I would love to get him relic 8. One day, I will totally relegate him to relic 8. It'll be great. And we'll have POW and Scout Trooper. This is the optimal build. I don't like this on defense. There are too many teams that beat this when it's on defense. Honestly, guys, it's fine. It's okay on defense. This is like everyone's go-to. Everyone's like, put it on defense. Just shovel it on defense. And I'm like, you don't understand the offensive firepower it truly has. It can clean up all the different GLs. I don't know about Lord Vader now. This with the current Kron set, I haven't tried it yet, and actually I'm fairly scared to try. But otherwise, it does clean up basically all the other GLs. It can even, from start to finish, sometimes kill a full Rey team, though I think with the Ben Solo nonsense that's about to happen, that's probably going to end. So some stuff to keep in mind, folks. Dash, if you have the Datacron, and yeah, he has to be Relic 7 or higher, everyone else has to be Relic 5 or higher. You can see I'm going above and beyond on a lot of these, but he'll take out a Jedi Master Kenobi team, he'll take out a Jedi Master Luke team. He takes out, I mean, if you combine him with Rey on offense, I've heard that he takes out Lord Vader. If you combine him, like, he's a Galactic Legend killer. If you have the Datacron for him, you really, really want Vander Chewie to go alongside him for the permanent revive, of course, if you're doing that. And, like, Kat just doesn't target Vander Chewie for her kill. So, I don't know, it's just kind of nice. You eventually are able to take out the whole team. And, it's just the bonus turn. He's constantly going, just just dropping bombs. It's pretty fun stuff. This is a really fun squad on offense. On defense, I feel like there's probably still a lot of teams that take it out, so we got to be cautious about that. Now, here's the other use for Cara Dune, folks. This is a team that, so if you don't want to use if you don't want to use Wampa to take out Iden, which, I mean, Iden's going to have a grit cron now, and it's going to be a whole mess. And so one of the teams that does beat the Iden team fairly well is a Bando team with Cara Dune and Bo-Katan. Cara Dune has the AoE that she can do that auto stuns all Empire that it hits. And then, of course, Bo-Katan does the days, and this team actually wipes out an Iden team pretty well. I'm pretty sure it's going to work nicely, even in this season, with the Grit Cron on Iden. So something to keep in mind, folks. Tenacity down from IG is really nice to be able to land all your debuffs, and then Whistling Birds. Just keep in mind that they're going to have some crazy high protection sometimes, because they're going to have, well, they have Grit, so it's all health, but then with Range Trooper on the team, a lot of times they're going to have really high bonus protection as well. So be strategic in your use of Whistling Birds here, folks, is all I'm going to say. It might not be all I say, but okay, so if we're doing that, like, the thing is, unfortunately, BAM teams don't work in 5v5 against the current Lord Vader builds, and so we're going to be using our bounty hunters. Now, a lot of times, this is kind of like the standard-ish build. I really like Bosk here with Fennec. If you can actually target the weakest character through, if there's not a taunt or something, then you can get your contract, like, right away. If not, like using Aura Singh as lead, and then just kicking out either Zam or Mando or even Fennec. Fennec wouldn't work that well in Aura teams anyways. Then you're going to be able to get your contract and take people out. Bounty hunters are struggling to find their identity right now, folks, especially in 5v5. We'll have to see what exactly happens. Now, troopers have, if you get them the Grid Cron, remember, get them all to Relic 5, which I don't have all of them there yet. But the one double dip that I have, folks, is Iden on offense and Iden on defense. And it's just hard to know. I didn't know what team they should go on. She actually does really well with Shore Trooper with the Grid Cron, so that he can heal all that health. With the Grid Cron on Veer's teams, remember, they're getting 10% bonus turn meter at the very start of every fight. So they're all gonna start significantly faster now. There are a few teams that I'm going to be experimenting with this season involving Galactic Legend counters. I'm not going to lead you guys astray right now and tell you exactly what they are because I don't know if they work, frankly. But my alt is also going to be doing it. So we're all in. We're alt in. All right. Bad Batch, pretty standard offensive team, guys. I know a lot of people like to put Shock T lead with them and put them on defense. And yes, it can be a little bit gross to try to face it, but there are a lot of counters to it. So I like these on offense because they can take out Adrad. They can take out a lot of different teams. They can clean up a lot of teams. They can even take out, if you have a modded Ray, I mean, it's not going to happen, especially with Ben now, but it does happen. Now, here's the First Order team with Hux and company. I mean, you don't have to have crew here. You can have Hux lead, depending on what you need, but this is nice. This team does a lot of damage. It really does. Yeah, I don't even know who the 5th character is, to be honest. I like Special Forces TIE Pilot because he does a lot of cool like debuffs. He does a stun. He calls to assist. A lot of nice stuff. A lot of nice synergy here. Whoever you have left over, I mean, Phasma lead can also do okay here. Just remember, you're getting 100 extra speed with this TIE Pilot. Omi, it's very nice. And you usually really want Hux so we can do his burst attack, but it's not absolutely necessary either. Okay, so Nest with Kira, with the Grit Kron. I'm really interested to see if they can solo sortie teams in 5v5. It was working well in 3v3, but 5v5, they can fit IG-88 in there, and that means you can have IG-11 and IG-88 on the team, and if you do that, then it means, or BB-8 for that matter, that means you have tenacity down and healing immunity or stuns or something like that. I don't know, but with Kira and Nest, with the Grit Kron, you can do some interesting stuff, I think. I'm very interested to see how this goes. My alt will also be doing this, just without the Kira, because I don't have Relic 5 on Kira. This Akbar team, I have the Omicron on him, not on Leia. Keep in mind that you start with Akbar. You always give everyone starting tenacity. Tenacity up, which is nice. Stormtrooper Han is nice to have here. Ezra is actually a lot of fun on this team. He has low hit points and health. Health and hit points and protection, whatever. So he's actually going to be assisting quite a bit on this team. And Biston's nice because he has one move that gives him his frenzy, and then he just takes tons and tons and tons of bonus turns, which the whole rest of the team really appreciates. Now, the Jawas usually want a different leader just to keep him alive a little bit longer, but I'm interested to see, like, this will take down a Mon Mothma team. If you're desperate, it'll take down parts of Grievous teams. It'll take down, a lot of the high assist teams, as long as they can stay alive long enough for those thermals to work. So, all right, guys, we went over the 20 minutes I was hoping for, but let me know what teams on offense you want to use. What are the best teams? A lot of really good stuff. The defensive teams link should be up here somewhere at this point. You can just click on that. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth goes overtime on videos every time. In all things, every time. See you guys.